English 4, Quarter 3, Week 6, Matatag Curriculum. For the competency, comprehend informational text. Objectives: note important information through outlining. Topic, main idea, supporting details, inductive organization or pyramid. Glean the writer's purpose: to recount, to entertain, to inform, explain, or describe. Identify text types according to the method of development and organizational structure: time order, chronology, time order, procedural. Draw conclusions and inferences from the text. Distinguish fact from opinion. Statements of facts, opinions, and fact-based statements of opinion. Produce a summary of a given text. Express ideas appropriately. Age appropriate, gender responsive, culture sensitive, for one's purpose, context, and target audience. Recount or narrate an event or experience, or describe a process in relation to a given theme. For the content, understanding informational text, process description, time order, procedural. Comprehension and noting details. Topic, main idea, purpose, supporting details. Determining textual structure and method of development. Identifying text types and author's purpose. Drawing conclusions. For the integration, cultural identity, and patriotism. For day 1. Answer the following about the Battle of Mactan. Who were the main figures involved in the Battle of Mactan? Very good. The main figures involved in the Battle of Mactan were Ferdinand Magellan and Lapu-Lapu. On what date did the Battle of Mactan take place? You're right, the Battle of Mactan took place on April 27, 1521. Why did Ferdinand Magellan and his men come to Mactan? You're right, Ferdinand Magellan and his men came to Mactan to convert the locals to Christianity and assert Spanish authority. How did Lapu-Lapu and his warriors prepare for the battle? You're right, Lapu-Lapu and his warriors prepared by gathering their forces and defending their land from the invaders. What was the outcome of the Battle of Mactan? You're right. The outcome of the Battle of Mactan was a victory for Lapu-Lapu and his warriors, with Magellan being killed. After the previous week's discussion on historical text, this week's lesson will focus on understanding another type of informational text, a procedural text. Have you ever followed a recipe, assembled a toy using instructions, or used a guide to complete a task? Share your experiences. What about the basic steps in cooking food like adobo? Do you know it? Those types of text are examples of procedural text. It communicates rules or processes to follow and is characterized by sequencing of events. It provides a step-by-step procedure and guidelines that describe how to complete a task. Most of the time, procedural texts use verbs like and, then, first, second, etc. This includes recipes and user guides accompanying household appliances or games. Here are some graphics. Doing wonders with clay. Make your own clay pot, honoring an ancient Filipino tradition. From ancient hands to modern marvels. Our ancestors centuries ago were already masters of shaping clay. They used it to make sturdy jars, called tapayas, to store food, intricate palayok for cooking, and even decorative bandi for special occasions. These weren't just containers, they were works of art, each one unique and full of stories. In the days of old, our Filipino ancestors used clay to do amazing things. They sculpted beautiful cups, bowls, and jars to carry fresh water and store precious food. While we have other ways to store food now, clay still holds a special charm and it reminds us of the wonderful works of our ancestors. The good news is that clay pots are quite easy to make, so you can make your own one too, following the simple steps. Step 1. Gather your clay. Grab a chunk of clay, roughly the size of a juicy hamburger. Warm it up gently in your hands, kneading it like a dough until it feels soft and smooth. Remember, be gentle. We don't want any sneaky air bubbles hiding inside. Step 2. Prepare your clay dough. Slice the clay in half like a detective inspecting a delicious cookie. Peek inside, making sure there aren't any air pockets trying to play hide and seek. Step 3. Roll, roll, roll. Take a smaller piece of your clay dough and transform it into a long, wiggy snake. This will be the foundation of your pot. Step 4. Build the base. Coil your clay snake layer by layer, like a tiny snail building its shell. This will become the bottom of your masterpiece. Step 5. Build the wall. Now, score your newly built base and the bottom of your clay snake with a little water, making it a bit rough. This helps them stick together like best friends playing tag. Add more clay snake layers, winding them around and up to build the walls of your pot. Step 6. Make it smooth. Gently smoothen the inside of your pot. Imagine giving it a big hug. Step 7. Shape your masterpiece. Play with the clay. Adjust the coils and make your pot your own. It feels a bit stiff. Just add a tiny sprinkle of water to help the coils stick together. Step 8. Make the final flourish. Now, it is time to personalize your pot. Add some cool decorations like tiny stamps, swirls, or even your initials. You can even paint your pot if you like. Step 9. Do the grand finale. Depending on the type of clay you used, let your pot air dry like a superhero catching some rays. Bake it in an oven like a cozy cookie, or take it to a special furnace called a kiln to really toughen it up. Creating a clay pot with your own hands can be easy, but it takes skill and patience to make a good one. Nevertheless, clay pot making reminds us of the wonderful works and culture of our Filipino ancestors that are worth keeping and honoring. What is the text about? What do you think is the purpose of the writer? What specific details are shared by the writer about the topic? How are the details organized? Why do we need to learn procedural text? You're right, they help us complete tasks accurately and efficiently. They ensure safety by providing clear instructions, example given in science experiments, cooking. They are used in many aspects of daily life and future careers. They improve our ability to communicate instructions clearly to others. Day 2. For the work example, read each question and circle the letter that corresponds to your answer. This activity is good for 10 minutes. Number 1. What did our Filipino ancestors use clay for before modern containers and refrigerators? A. Building houses. B. Sculpting toys. C. Storing food and water. D. Making furniture. Number 2. Why is it important to gently knead the clay in step 1? A. To warm it up. B. To make it smooth. C. To remove air bubbles. D. To add color. Number 3. What does the author compare building the base of the pot to in step 4? A. Stacking building blocks. B. Wrapping a present. C. A snail building its shell. D. Weaving a basket. Number 4. What should be done to help the base and clay snake stick together in step 5? A. Press them together firmly. B. Score them with water. C. Add glue. D. Decorate them. Number 5. How can you personalize your clay pot in step 8? A. Adding tiny animals. B. Carving your initials. C. Using colorful paints. Or D. All of the above. Here are the correct answers. For number 1, we have C, 2, C, 3, C, number 4, B, and number 5 is D. For the directions, working now in groups, fill out the diagram below with your answers to the guide questions. Present your output to the class afterwards. This activity is good for 15 to 20 minutes. What is the text about? You're right, the text is about making a clay pot and honoring the ancient Filipino tradition of pottery. What is the writer's purpose? Very good. The purpose of the writer is to teach readers how to make a clay pot while appreciating the cultural significance of pottery. What important details are shared? You're right. The writer shares detailed step-by-step instructions on how to make a clay pot, as well as the historical and cultural background of Filipino pottery. How are the details organized? Exactly. The details are organized in a clear, step-by-step guide on how to make the clay pot, following by tips on personalizing it. With your group, arrange these steps in the correct order by assigning them numbers 1 to 9, starting with the first step and ending with the last, as they appear in the text. This activity is good for 15 to 20 minutes. Play with the clay. Adjust the coils and make your pot your own. Add swirls, stumps, or even your initials. Let your creativity shine. Depending on your clay, let your pot air dry like a superhero soaking up the sun. Bake it in an oven like a cozy cookie, or take it to a special furnace called a kiln for extra toughness. Gently smoothen the inside of your pot, giving it a big hug for strength and durability. Lean against the outside while you hug. 2 hands are better than 1. Slice the clay in half and peek inside for any air pockets playing. Score the base and the snake's bottom with a little water to roughen it a bit. Gently knead a chunk of clay, making it soft and smooth like dough. Layer your clay snake coil by coil. This becomes your pot's bottom, the base of your pot. Roll a smaller piece of clay until it forms a long, wiggly snake. This will be your pot's foundation, strong and ready to build upon. Wind more clay snake layers around and up. Building the walls of your pot, imagine it reaching for the sky like a friendly giant. Let us now answer. Here are the correct arrangement. We have 8, 9, 7, 2, and 5. Next, we have 1, 4, 3, and 6. Day 3. Complete the diagram with the steps given in the box. Note that the steps below are like the ones in the previous day's activity, but they have been rephrased. A. Slice the clay in half. B. Knead a chunk of clay. C. Layer the rolled clay coil by coil. D. Roll a piece of clay, turning it into something like a snake or a rope. E. Score the base, making it rough. F. Smoothen the inside part by giving it a big hug. G. Wind more clay snake layers around and up to build the wall of your pot. H. Design and adjust the size of your pot to your liking. I. Air dry, bake, or place your pot into a kiln. Arrange it using the graphic organizer. Let us now answer. The first one will be letter B. Knead a chunk of clay. Next, slice the clay in half. Letter D. Roll a piece of clay, turning it into something like a snake or a rope. Next is letter C. Layer the rolled clay coil by coil. Letter E. Score the base, making it rough. Next is letter G. Wind more clay snake layers around and up to build the wall of your pot. Next is F is smoothen the inside part by giving it a big hug. Next is letter H, design and adjust the size of your pot to your liking. And for letter I, air dry, bake or place your pot into a kiln. For learners' takeaways that is good for 10 minutes, recall what you learned from this lesson and fill in the blanks with ideas and information that will complete each statement. You may also use drawings to show your answers. 2 things I learned about procedural text. You're right. Procedural text give step-by-step instructions to complete a task. They help readers understand how to do something in a clear and organized way. For the reflection on learning, share your reflections on the things that you learned from this lesson. Fill in the table below with ideas that will complete each statement. Reflection prompts. I am happy that I learned about what I learned in useful because at home or in my community, I can use what learned by I wish to learn more about. Write your answer in words or in drawing in the second column. For day 4. For the assessment, you will demonstrate your understanding of procedural text by writing and illustrating a step-by-step guide on how to make halo-halo, a popular Filipino dessert. In your groups, you will create an instructional guide that emphasizes clarity, sequence, and completeness in the steps. Be sure to include pictures that clearly illustrate each step to help explain the process. After completing your guide, you will present it to the class, explaining each step and showing your illustrations. Assessment criteria: completeness. Did the learners include all necessary steps and ingredients or materials or others as may be applicable? Clarity. Are the instructions easy to follow? Sequence. Are the steps in the correct order? Illustrations. Do the drawings effectively support the instructions? Presentation. Were learners able to explain their guide clearly? Here is a sample task output. How to make halo-halo step-by-step guide. We have for the ingredients, shaved ice, sweetened fruits like jackfruit, banana, and purple yam, leche flan, caramelized custard, sweetened beans like red beans and kidney beans. Ube ice cream. We have milk, evaporated or condensed, sugar, and it is optional. Here are the procedures or step-by-step guide. First, prepare the ingredients. Gather all your ingredients: sweetened fruits, beans, leche flan, ube ice cream, and shaved ice. Second, fill the glass with shaved ice. You start by adding a generous amount of shaved ice into a tall glass or bowl. Third, add the sweetened fruits and beans. Layer the sweetened fruits, jackfruit, banana, etc., and beans, red beans, kidney beans, on top of the ice. Add leche flan. Cut a small piece of leche flan and add it to the top of the layered fruits and beans. Top with ube ice cream. Scoop ube ice cream and place it on top of the leche flan. Pour milk over the mixture. Pour evaporated or condensed milk over the entire mixture for a creamy texture. Optional, add sugar if you like it sweeter. Sprinkle some sugar over the milk. Last, mix and enjoy. Mix everything together with a spoon, then enjoy your delicious halo-halo.